Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at belisiofoods.com/careers.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where we are here on a, dreary Tuesday morning, but the sun is shining here in the studio because we have two special guests here, and we're going to talk about something really interesting and cool. Unfortunate that you have to do this event, but it's really cool that you are. And so we're going to chat with you and talk about that. So could you first off introduce yourselves? Tell us a little bit about your organization.
Yes, so my name is Anita Moore, and I am just a concerned citizen, a part of this coalition, the HOPE Coalition, which is concerned citizens and people who maybe work in other agencies or different areas of Gallia County that are a part of this coalition.
Yeah, and I'm Tom Olahan. I also am a concerned citizen. I'm a dad, a husband and grandfather, and I'm a pastor in our community too. I'm also been with the Hope Coalition for a few years now, and so yeah, we're excited about the coalition itself, just because it's where volunteers have gotten together and to combine their resources and their energies, their time, and to make a difference.
And let's back up for a minute and kind of talk about the Hope Coalition and talk about how it got started and why and all of that. And then we'll talk about your event because it's going to be really cool. As I said, unfortunate, but cool.
Yeah. Well, it started as Gallia Citizens for Prevention and Recovery several years ago, and it was a response to the drug abuse, drug addiction problem in our community. And it's taken on a couple of other things too, but its primary focus is still that. And last year we kind of renamed, and it was Gallia Hope, which stands for Healing, Outreach, Prevention, and Education.
Love that.
Yeah, and it really is just a great gathering of great people who just have a lot of different diversity and backgrounds. Anita was just sharing with me a little earlier and about how that has been a strength to our community.
It has. The sheriff is involved, our prosecutor is involved, and then just concerned citizens, not just, but a wonderful group of people from all over.
Yeah, that's right. A lot of agencies and organizations partner with us, mental health organizations, AOD providers, alcohol and
Right.
Treatment providers, and medical, and businesses in the community. Just a lot of folks who come together and unite and make a difference.
Well, as many people say, the old pun or whatever, for lack of better words, it takes a village, and it really does.
It really does.
Yeah.
It does, and it takes people of all walks of life to join together for one good cause. And it sounds like that's what's happening there in Gallia County. I think, in my opinion, the first step is admitting that there's a problem.
Yes.
And I feel like sometimes it's really hard for individuals or communities to even admit that there's a problem and want to talk about it and address it because, drugs come as kind of a stain to a community. And, if we just sweep it under the rug, it doesn't exist, right?
That's the way we tend to think. Yeah,
And I think humans do that just in general,
it
but
is.
but
Yeah.
it's not
Denial is part of the process.
sure,
Yeah.
sure, but it's not that's not part of the solution.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Drugs have really deeply, severely impacted not just our county, of course, but the whole region. And often, especially in rural areas like ours, there can be a temptation to feel like we don't have the resources to combat this.
Yep.
We're underpowered. We don't have the ability to address this. But when we do combine, when we come together as a community, and we meet every month, and we talk about things and we work on projects, ways to help the community. When we do that, because we're all coming together with different parts of the puzzle, so to speak, we can actually make a difference by uniting not just our, as I said, resources and strength, but just our voice, and uniting our voices and sharing a message of encouragement and hope and change for our community.
Which
Yes.
is exactly what happened at a meeting several months ago. The prosecutor of Gallia County said, "Hey, what if for our town hall meeting we have Matt Atwood from the Ohio State Patrol come and talk about why this happens, where they're coming from, why they're entering into Gallia County and surrounding areas, and explain it to the whole county of why this is happening."
Right. I think the idea too was just because people have just been sort of bewildered by the whole process. The explanation that Anita is part of the team that plans this particular event, so she's really insightful, very deeply involved in it. So she and the others on that particular team were thinking that it would help our community a lot if we had insight as to
Love
how
that.
this is happening, and at the same time, have resources there. We'll have a lot of information there. We'll have service providers there who can help families who are struggling. There are
Great.
all sorts of individuals, moms and dads, children, spouses, brothers and sisters who are struggling because somebody they know is caught in this chain, or this web rather, that they don't know how to get out of. So
I have 13 local agencies that are going to be there set up
Wow.
for this event, and you can go and you can talk to them.
that's right. Yeah.
They're all going to be set up around the room at the Bozzard Memorial Library, which is a wonderful facility. It's called the Riverview Room, and it does overlook the Ohio River.
That's
It's beautiful,
perfect.
and it is a wonderful place to have in Gallia County. But there are 13 agencies that are going to be set up, and I'm super excited about that. And we're also
That's
going to have
great.
food. And
Hey,
so they
there
say
you go.
you have food, people will come. We're going to have some pizza and chips, and so just something just to have a snack and listen. We also have a panel. The sheriff will be there, a judge. The agency, the Adams Board, which stands for,
Alcohol, Drug Abuse, and Mental Health Services Board.
Yes.
and then then someone who is a recovering, and the obstacles that she faced and where she's at now, and she's
Great story.
wonderful.
Love that.
It's
Love
a
it.
wonderful story, and she's amazing.
Yes, she is.
And she's from the Field of Hope. I don't know if you've heard of that, but that's
It's one of our
one of our community faith-based.
providers. Yeah,
Great.
Is
They do
wonderful.
great work there.
Yes.
And again, the first step is, I think, admitting that there is an issue. And I think I know the patrol, what they're going to say. And, living on a major highway is for the most part, a blessing. It's a blessing for economic development. It's a blessing for so many things, just for our convenience. But it's also, living on a major highway makes it a thoroughfare for people to travel from place to place. And sometimes when people are doing that, they stop along the way. And for some reason, Gallia County seems to be a place where some folks have planted themselves in the community. Let's just say that. And I know years ago when we owned Courtside Bar and Grill there in Gallipolis, and just the Gallia County community is so wonderful, and they're so supportive of local businesses and things like that. But just to see the some of the struggles of some of the folks that were affected by, the drug thing. And to watch them go down was rough. And a lot of times it might be because they started dating someone that, shall we say, stopped along the way, or that kind of thing. And I saw it then. I'm sure it's worse now. And it's and this isn't just Gallia County. I'm not.
It's the
You
region.
guys are addressing it, and I guess I'm so proud of you for that, because you all are actually saying something about it and doing something about it. But it's an issue everywhere, and unless you've been personally affected by drugs or whatever, you like to believe that it doesn't really exist, or that it's not as bad as what you hear on television or whatever. And I promise you, it is there. It's everywhere, and it is. This is just my soapbox. You're going to be affected by it sometime in your life, from a loved one, from a relative, from a friend, somebody, and it's going to be somebody that you least expect.
Yes.
Probably.
And
they need help.
Met with Angie Stowers, who's going to be on the panel, and that's exactly what we talk about. Everybody knows somebody that has been affected.
And if you don't, you are so fortunate, but it's going to happen. I promise you.
Yeah. I've been a pastor for a number of years, and I've been with families, and as I encourage them to trust God and to turn to Him, and especially in times of crisis and so on, I find that a lot of the crises that we're facing, actually somehow, so many of them are just linked somehow directly or indirectly to the effects, the problems caused by drug abuse and addiction. And so it is. It's a matter of time if it hasn't affected you, because it will.
It will.
And I think it's affected a lot more than we hear about. A lot of people, and you've talked about it. You've talked about how it's something we don't like to talk about. A lot of people are ashamed.
Yep.
And so
For
they're
sure.
reluctant to get help until it snowballs so much that it's out of control. So
Yes.
it's but it's there, but at the same time, all the things that go with it, the tragedy of the fact of it, and then the issues that it creates. There's increased mental health issues, depression, suicide ideation, and a lot of other things that go with it. But at the same time, there's hope, and and I'm very thankful for the fact that we can talk about that, and we can help people discover the hope that we're going to be sharing in our community.
And this is exactly what the Gallia County Hope Coalition is for.
Absolutely.
To help people along the way, and to provide you with resources. Let's just be honest, like, the thing with addiction is there's the addict, and then there's everyone else, whether it be family or friends or whatever, that are also affected by this. Whether you be, robbed, whether you just care about that person and you just are devastated by what you're seeing, because they become, I like to say, it's like being possessed by the devil. Like, that's not that human anymore. That it's the drugs that are in them, and it's like they just become possessed by that, and that's very unfortunate to see. And it's hard mentally and financially and physically sometimes for support people as well. So it does take a village, and that's so wonderful that you guys are all coming together for this in one location, so that if anybody is struggling, whether you be a loved one or an addict or anybody, you can come.
Yes,
That's right.
And not be judged.
That's right.
No.
That's
And just be loved and helped.
And find ways to get involved too. Sometimes people just want to know, how can I help? And here's a coalition of volunteers meeting, and that coalition formed to answer that question: how can I help? So a lot of people who asked the question got together and began to work on ways that together they can help. And so it presents a lot of opportunity for people who want to get involved somehow.
And we meet at Holzer Medical Center, down where the cafeteria is in Gallia County, in conference rooms A and B. And that's the second Monday
It is, except for October, which is displaced because there's a holiday, the day that we would have met.
Okay.
So, but generally the second Monday of every month
At noon.
at noon.
And we get fed.
Yeah.
Yay!
Applause to Holzer
Yes,
for that.
Holzer is awesome.
Thanks, Holzer.
Yes, yes.
I assume that your group is made up of people of, I'm just assuming, of all, walks, whether it be people that have been there and done that, people that have been family members of addicts, people that just care.
Yeah.
And I think bringing all of that together is wonderful.
Yeah.
So, for instance, I work in juvenile court. I've been there 15 years. I work in juvenile probate court. Tom works for the agency.
Yeah, I work with family and children, and
family.
as a pastor
Yes, that's
also, I
right.
kind of bring that to it also. And
Sure.
and we have law enforcement, we have our judicial system, we have mental health, we have medical, our health department, Gallia County Health Department.
And then we have just concerned citizens
Yeah,
that
yeah.
just
That see.
want, yes, they
Yeah.
just
Know.
are a part of it.
Some of them, but the best events we've had were, I remember the Carnival of Hope.
Oh my goodness,
that
yes.
was brought into existence because of Grandpa and Grandma, and
Yes.
they just had a vision for it, and we got to do it for the kids, and
Mhm.
Good.
it's something we've done in the past.
So retired people,
retired people,
just anyone.
neighborhood watch
Teachers.
programs. People will come representing their neighborhood watch.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And you just said it, teachers too.
Education. Yeah.
I'm sure they see things that
Mhm.
would scare the heck out of you.
Yeah, our school systems, they're involved also.
Good.
And, they send, their
That's
leaders
wonderful.
are involved.
Yeah, the superintendents and everyone.
Yeah.
So, we have a lot of leadership. Of course, I said the prosecutor, the sheriff. Who else? I mean, there's just so many agencies that are involved with this group.
Well, as what I'm sitting here thinking, you're saying, oh, there's going to be someone from the highway patrol there to speak. There's going to be the prosecutor there to speak. What would you say to someone that's listening today that's like, you know what, I could probably use some help, but I don't want to go around those
Right.
people. Like, I'm terrified
Yep.
to show
Right.
up there and admit that I'm of doing what I'm doing because they're going to arrest me right there on the spot or whatever. What would you say to that?
So if you can come to the event, there's a lot of stuff that's already there. But if you, for whatever reason, can't make it or feel like that isn't where you can go, you can find Gallia Hope on social media, Gallia
Okay.
Hope, and then also we have a website, GalliaPrevention.org. There's a way to get information, make contact if you're looking for help. We will put you into contact with people
Great.
who can connect you to the kind of help that you need.
But please feel free to come to the event as well. I don't think anyone's going to judge anybody. They'd
No,
much rather you
no.
be there
That's right.
than
Exactly.
not.
Yeah, this is about informing and empowering people, the people
Yes.
of our community, not just Gallia County, of course, but
Sure.
also our region.
Everyone welcome.
So that's
Mhm.
right. That's right.
And there's pizza
And there's pizza and chips. Yeah.
on the river.
Yeah.
Like, hello.
Hello.
All right. So let's talk for a minute about like the program itself. And you said it's going to be at the library there in Gallipolis,
Yes.
which is lovely.
It is. And the first hour, or the first 45 minutes, is that Matt Atwood, who is going to present, and it's going to be an open discussion. The sheriff will be involved with that along with the prosecutor. And then after that, we'll have the panel, which will have Judge Margaret Evans, Sheriff Matt Champlin, Angela Stowers, and Amber
Richards, yeah.
Richards, yes. And so that will be the panel. And then there will be a moment for open discussion. And
Yeah.
so if you're in the audience and all the things that you've just heard, you had a question come up, you'll have that opportunity at the end to ask a question. And so it's basically just set like that.
Yeah.
And you can get up, you can go and look around at the back part of the room at the different agencies that are going to be set up. When you first get there, you can do that also, and at the end.
Yeah, and there'll be packets of information on every chair, just to
Yes.
talk about the
Wonderful.
different issues that we're the things you need to know.
Yes.
And so we're going to try to share information that way as well.
That's great. This
Yeah.
sounds like an amazing event. And I think that the main thing is that you all know that you're invited. And again,
Yes.
that's this coming Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
a couple of days from now.
Yep.
2 days.
You have 2 days to plan to be there, 5:30 to 7:30. at the library there in Gallipolis, 7 Spruce Street. You can
Yes.
remember that.
7 Spruce Street, and try to come a little bit early. That way you can get a seat, but you can also talk to some people that are coming
right.
in. And if you're interested in being a part of this coalition, you can speak to myself, you can speak to Tom. There's going to be lots of people there that you can talk to.
That's right.
Very good, and it's just going to be an amazing event. Thank you for putting it on, and being part of the solution. And
Well,
that's huge.
we've been blessed with a community of people,
Yes.
a lot of people, volunteers, just great minds, great hearts, who have a desire to just help and change things in Gallia County.
It's great. Do you have any future plans? Any big crazy plans for your Hope Coalition?
What's our next event? Let's see.
Well, we do a number of events throughout the
Yes.
year. We have
Okay.
we do a tri-county. Well, Gallia doesn't do all, but there is a tri-county drug take-back event
Yes.
that happens in October,
Ooh.
and which I forget the exact date offhand.
Is that
but-
like you can turn them in?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's always a great opportunity to get those old medicines out of the house.
Don't
you know,
flush
and-
it down the toilet.
Yeah,
don't
Please, for the
flush.
love of
No.
God, do not
Don't
flush your
flush.
drugs down the toilet.
Yeah, this is a safe way to dispose of them. And then also, we usually, when we do that, we set up other things there that can be helpful. We have information, and it's just a lot of good reasons to be involved in that as well. So
We just had at the park the Ohio awareness
overdose awareness
overdose
event.
awareness
Yeah.
event.
Okay.
That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Where at the end we release butterflies,
Yeah.
and it is amazing.
love
Like it's almost
Yeah.
it is. Just
There were a lot of
precious.
testimonies, a lot of stories. A lot of
Yes.
people were there in remembrance of a person they've lost. And so it was a healing moment for some
It
folks.
really
And then
was.
for some folks who come looking for help or looking for encouragement, they can get it because there are people who understand, there are people who care.
Yeah.
And there were resources presented there too.
Mhm.
So we had success stories, people who feel like they'll never get through this, a family that doesn't know how they're going to survive where somebody seems lost to them in the midst of this.
Sure.
The success stories help people to have
Yes.
hope and to carry on. So
And there's sharing the
Yeah.
wonderful testimony time.
mhm.
It's really a wonderful event if you ever get a chance to go. It's once a year at the Gallipolis City Park,
Which
and it
is
wonderful.
unbelievable
It's
and
wonderful.
in its own right.
Oh yeah, there's some
Um,
pictures. Yes. Oh, and that picture up there was Jordan Schaefer shared. Oh, how he's amazing, and he has the therapy dog, and his story is wonderful. If you ever get a chance to,
Yeah,
hear
he
his
shared a
story.
very personal story,
Yes.
and then somebody with whom he's had interactions shared too, and it was
Yes.
kind of neat to see how that came about. And
It was wonderful.
yeah,
That's great, and he's doing well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
yeah.
I think wouldn't it be helpful to for that to happen more often?
Yes.
hmm
Yeah.
Well,
more than
our
once
hope
a
is-
year.
And
Yeah.
to
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
not, like just for people to talk about it, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah. Well, with the events that they're coming up Thursday. Of course, there's a lot of program in that, but there are other events too that just allow for people to make connections with people and
That's
to
great.
talk with people who listen and care, who understand. We have people we have a number of people who have come back through recovery and have really rebuilt their lives, regained their families. And they're great inspirations, and and being involved in things like this allows a lot of folks to connect with them, and just being able to kind of rubbing life, it's an opportunity where you're really feeling discouraged and
Mhm.
defeated, to find that maybe there's still hope here, and there is a path forward for myself or for my family member. To go forward. So
I think something that's really neat to mention is all the different branches that have expanded from Hope,
yes,
from Citizens for Prevention and Recovery and Hope,
yeah,
like the Human Trafficking Coalition,
Yeah.
the suicide prevention,
Yeah.
the
We have it. We had a.
Oh, yes,
We've
the
had youth, which is a little less active than it has been in the past. But our hope is that we'll see that become active again soon. But yeah, there have been, because the issues that we face as a coalition that has dealt primarily with drug abuse and addiction, these are the issues that often are overlapping. Families are struggling with someone who's feeling suicidal. There is a huge correlation between human trafficking. Even we have in rural areas a version of human trafficking that looks a little different than urban areas.
Oh, in what way?
And so, well, because a lot of it is less obvious, it's less visible.
Okay.
There's a lot more stuff.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very real, and it almost always is connected somehow to drugs. And so there's a natural connection between these other kinds of problems and issues with the issues we're dealing with which our primary calling with the coalition with drug abuse and addiction. So it just sort of was natural because we have community partners involved in all these different things already. Let's also tackle these issues also. And so we have a collaborative suicide prevention collaborative. We have a human trafficking awareness collaborative with some amazing leadership,
Interesting.
volunteer leadership, but amazing people who have taken it on. And Anita's been actually leader for Human Trafficking Coalition, as well as a past vice president.
I feel
for our
like that's a
coalition.
whole other show we could do.
I'm serious because honestly, the information that the public needs to understand
Yeah,
is the
because
difference.
I'm sitting here totally in the
and-
dark about it. Like,
Correct. And I have some wonderful contacts that would
Oh, yeah.
be great on here.
Yeah, and our local,
Alicia,
yeah,
she would be wonderful to
Yeah.
talk to, and Terry Brown.
yeah.
I
Terry is
could
our
have a whole
current
show.
chairperson for that particular
Yes.
committee, and she's
Let's do
very
that.
passionate, and I think she would be eager to share.
you know, and
Absolutely.
again, because if you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
And there obviously is a problem. You're sitting here saying there's a problem, so we need to inform people that there's a problem.
Yes.
Yeah, I had no idea. 15 years ago, I started working in juvenile court, and so many issues that as an outsider, you don't see until you're there in it.
Yep.
And it's amazing. My eyes were opened. Of course, I had a husband who worked in children's services for 32 years, and yet he kept that stuff and didn't share.
Just didn't talk about it.
Of course not.
Because it's just, you don't really want to talk about that at the dinner table,
exactly,
do you?
Exactly. And so what, we see now is different than what we did before we even started this job.
Yeah.
So everyone, you're more aware. It's like I wouldn't know how to run a radio station unless I started seeing and
Yeah.
working.
Sure,
there.
right,
Exactly.
right.
You don't realize what is going on.
Yeah.
And but it's that would be a wonderful topic.
Yeah, it would. And I think, too, it just made me think as you were sharing, Anita, that how these problems have a way of changing, too. Like the drug issue is, the general issues and the principles are all pretty much the same. However, the ways that it's manifesting, the different kinds of drugs, for example, that are in our communities,
Yep.
how they actually interact, and some of the new dangers. There are new dangers that
Yes.
didn't exist even 5 years ago.
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah,
my.
so,
yes, it changes.
Yeah, and it really is scary. I mean, there's hope, but at the same time, we have to acknowledge the severity of the problem,
Yep.
and it's pretty severe. And help people understand. This is not just the problem. This is not just how bad it is, but this is how we're addressing it, how we're fighting it as a community. And there are ways to do that. It's a terrible thing when a loved one suddenly gets enmeshed in something.
Oh my
and
gosh.
you don't know what in the world is happening. You don't understand the change in behavior. You don't know how to help them. You're frustrated.
Correct.
You're
'Cause
angry.
You're mad at them.
You're scared. Yeah.
Um,
And all kinds of emotions.
You love them. You're mad at them. Yes. You care. It's horrible.
Right. And so these kind of conversations, this particular event, among others, is a way of helping people to understand the problem, and then not just understand the problem, but understand how to navigate through it and out of it. So.
Very good. I think this is amazing. We appreciate you so much
Thank
for
you
what
so
you're
much.
doing. Again, first off, admitting there's a problem is a great way to start, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Sounds like you have a lot of folks that care in Gallia County, and
We do.
keep it up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And everybody's invited. Don't forget,
Yes.
Howard Drugs entering Gallia County. Be part of the solution. And again, that's this coming Thursday, 5:30 to 7:30 at the, do you say Bossard?
Buzzard.
Bossard
Yes.
Memorial Library, Riverside Room. Pizza will be there, and that's at 7 Spruce Street there in Gallipolis. So just put that in your GPS, and it won't be hard to find. If it has a Riverside Room, I'd guess it's on the river somewhere.
It's very
Yes. It's beautiful. We're really blessed to have that place.
Yes, very, very good. Well, best of luck to you all, and keep up the good
Thank you.
work, and thank you for what you're doing.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so much.
having us.
Of course, anytime, and let's do that other show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
We'll make arrangements.
Yes, we'll have your people call our
Yeah.
people.
Exactly.
None of us have any people, but anyway, we'll probably just talk.
We're the people.
I like to say it sounds way better when you
Yes, it
say that,
does.
though. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. All right. Well, Mr. Dillon, you want to pull up the weather there, and we can kind of switch out, and then I think we might have a little something from the Apple Festival that we're going to play, because we had so much fun last week at the Apple
Oh.
Festival. There was so much stuff going on. And while you can go and navigate through all of our videos and whatever on demand, we thought that it might be fun just to show you a little snippet of some of the fun things this week. So, all right, well, let's go over the weather while we're switching out, and then we'll come back. And I think what we pulled up today is something about some Little Queen contest, right, Dylan? Okay, he says yes. All right, thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. All right, let's go over that weather forecast, and it is looking very, very good. We had perfect weather for the Apple Festival last week. A little bit of rain in the forecast this week, but for the most part, the temperatures are absolutely amazing. Thank you all so much. And today is, of course, Tuesday, so there will be some partly cloudy skies. Again, they're not calling for rain today, but they also did not call for rain yesterday, and it rained all afternoon. So we're just going to go with stick your head outside. Tomorrow, or today on Tuesday, highs of 78, lows of 58. Tomorrow, Wednesday, about a 60% chance of showers, but about the same temperatures. Highs of 79, lows of 58. And then on Thursday, a little bit cooler, 70% chance of rain. And then looking at the weekend, though, absolutely gorgeous weekend for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, looking like near 80 degrees every single day with sunshine in the forecast. So how in the heck have we done this 2 weeks in a row, Dylan? This is awesome.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes the weather is just crazy. My plant is dying outside. Like, I got this plant, okay? I was so excited because I've never
Wait.
had a plant.
You have a plant.
I have a plant.
What kind of plant?
So it was actually my mom's. My uncle got it for her for Mother's Day. And I was just like, hey, this plant's really cool. And then it started dying. And I was like, hey, you can't just let the plant die. You got to water, you got to take care of it. And she's like, well, it's your job now. And I was like, all right, cool.
So now it's your baby.
Yeah.
What kind of plant is it?
It's a plant that's got like red flowers on it. So like a red flower plant. I don't know, something that you'd find in a Mother's Day aisle. But like, man, I was excited about this plant. I'm like, I'm going to take care of this plant. And then the weather comes in and just kills it. Like, I'm watering it. I'm trying to keep it alive. And I'm not like over watering. I know you can drown them things.
Yes.
And the cool out, like the cold outside is just murdering that poor plant.
Well, maybe do you have a porch?
I do. It's on the porch.
Is it underneath the porch?
Mm-mm.
The plant?
It's like a porch that doesn't have like a top.
Oh, maybe you should put her under cover
I
so
might
that
try
the cold doesn't fall on her.
Yeah.
If I knew what kind of plant it was, I could help you with that, Dylan. A red flower plant doesn't help me much.
Well, I mean, it's got red
It's
flowers
one
on
of those
it.
red flower plants. It looks like you'd get it for Mother's Day.
Yeah. I mean, you go through the Mother's Day aisle and you see all them like red flowers, them red hearts, them red candies. It's a red flower.
Take a picture, bring it to me. I'll help you
I'll
out.
definitely do that.
Yeah.
But like the stems were turning brown, and I was like, man, this is heartbreaking, like you take care of it, and then it just starts like withering away, and it's like, man, that freaking weather.
I know. When it gets
Seasonal
cooler at
plants.
night, in your defense, when it gets cooler at night, it's just a little shocking to them because they've been, burning up all summer long.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if I
um,
was sitting outside and it was warm out and I'm just sunbathing and then all of a sudden it starts freezing, I'd be
it's
kind of
like,
confused too.
yeah, it turns to 50 and there's like icicles hanging off you. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. All right. So what is it? So that was a wonderful interview, and that was a wonderful, thing that they're doing here on Thursday. So we hope everybody can make plans to attend.
Yeah, for sure.
Very, very good. But we had so much that happened last week at the Apple Festival, and I think that it's always a good thing to play a little bit of this and that on the show, because sometimes people can't on demand figure out how to find different things. So we knew that we would have some time today. So what did you pull up for us to view today?
Okay, so our friend Jeremiah at the Telegram, multimedia
Thanks,
journalist for
Jeremiah.
the Telegram, he always tries to live stream events. So he live streamed the Little Miss crowning. So
Okay.
the other day when we had the queens on here, the Little Miss that was with them, she
Yes.
gives a speech and she ends up like handing over her crown to the new Little Miss.
Aww.
Mhm.
So we're gonna watch that.
Yep.
And I think that Jalen did such a good job. She's very wise for being so young, and she just did a phenomenal job representing Jackson County. So you want to hear what she has to say?
Yep, we can
And
do
then
that.
and then see the new little queen. And we hope you enjoy.
Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Jaden Velez, your 2022 Jackson Out Festival Little Miss, and I want to thank the judges last year for picking me as queen. I want to thank Rob for driving me ever and making sure I was there on time. Also, Shannon, thanks for treating me like family and my sass when it falls off my shoulder. And for the Queen's Kylie, thank you so much for being so sweet to me and always treating me like your sister. Also, you're so nice to other people. Deanna, thanks for always being there for me when I'm sad. You make me happy. Thank you so much for being so nice to me and a lot of other people. Abby, we haven't talked a lot, but you're so sweet to me and other people. I love you so much. Hi, Mom. I know we fight a lot, but you still always take care of me and get me ready. For my aunt, even though we fight a lot, thanks for coaching me. You're the reason I'm here. Love you.
Thank you, Jayla. We've had a lot of fun traveling with you since this past April, and we're going to miss you a lot. But I'm looking forward to seeing where this next year takes you. I know you're going to do big things.
I guess Lynn's stepdaughter is. Lynn's stepdaughter's old band.
I started this a few
Okay. All right.
I told her to roll. That's okay.
It will be just a minute longer. The judges are still deliberating.
Oh. We're about. Glory.
Grand Marshal and past Mayor of Jackson, Tom and Brenda Perry, Tom Apple Festival President 1975, 1976, and 1982, 1983, 1988, and Tom 1990. Grand Marshal for 50th anniversary, Robert Irvin, 1996, Grand Marshal Wayne and Beverly Shoemaker, 1999, Grand Marshal Wayne and Beverly Shoemaker, 1999, Grand Marshal P and Pam Wilson, P, 2007, Grand Marshal
I got a Mark Farmer commercial on here.
Carrie and Mary Montgomery Carey,
The
2008 Grand Marshal,
paid for the
Rob
sponsorship.
and
I know you
Georgina
guys
Munn,
like
2009 Grand Marshal, and memory of Evan Davis, 2011 Grand Marshal, John and Janice John, 2015 Grand Marshal, in memory of Terry Osborne, 2017 Grand Marshal, Joe and Tammy Wyatt, Joe 2016 and 2017 Apple Festival President, Raymond and Linda Wyatt. Random 2022 Grand Marshal Karen Fox, 1999 Apple Festival Little Queen, and 2021 Apple Festival Big Queen, H&K Sound, Green Leaf, Florist, and Landscaping. In memory of Dobie Wayne.
Okay, we have Sport About, Brodigan Sport and Trophies, Patty Davis in memory of George O. Davis, Brian Moore, President of Jackson City Schools Board, Pat McDonald, Jackson City Schools Board, Judge Justin Skaggs, R&J Gas, LLC, the Mobile Mechanic, Joe Simpson, Auto and Truck Tire Center, Jackson, John Hale, Katie Brown, the 2021 Jackson Apple Festival Queen, McKinley Morris, the 2021 Jackson Apple Festival Second Attendant, Jim Beverages and Distributors of Jim, Holz Apple Family Clinic of Jackson and Wellston, Richard Specht, Charlotte Specht, Paul Holler, Jackson County Commissioner, and Dr. Marla Holler, Donnie Wills, Jackson County's Commissioner, and Lon Lords. Thank you. right, the results are in. We will announce the girls in no particular order. To show our appreciation for their hard work, they will receive a small gift and then exit the stage. When your child's name is called, please meet them on the back of the trailer to help them off stage. The final name we call is the 2023 Little Miss Apple Festival Queen, who we would like to remain on the stage for photos.
We're announcing in no particular order. Contestant number 9, Willa DeLong. Contestant number 10, Maya Crabtree. Contestant number 1, Adley Arms. Contestant number 6, Berkeley Usley. Contestant number 3, Emberly Chesser. Contestant number 7, Macy Carlisle. Contestant number 4, Callahan Wooten. Contestant number 5, Aubrey James. Contestant number 8, Harper Williams. Our 2020-23 Little Miss Apple Festival Queen is Hadley Scarberry.
It's never a good shot from the side, but that's okay.
Hey, we're back.
Yay! Is that not the cutest thing ever?
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun seeing events like that. My sister did that once when she was a little kid.
Did she?
Yeah, I don't think she won Little Miss, but she was one of the contestants.
Did you try out?
No, I don't think I ever would.
I mean, you never know. I don't know why. I mean, no one's ever asked, I guess, if a boy could be the little miss.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a good question. I mean, I feel like some kids out there might. I mean, you never know.
Never, never know. But no, that is always so fun. And man, as I said earlier this week, I was down at the spot sitting in the window on Saturday morning, and it was just this like flock of people. And Jamie was like, "Where are all these people going? It's like 10 in the morning." And I was like, "They're going to the Little Queen contest because it's so popular." And the little girls are just adorable. They all do such a fantastic job, but somebody has to be the new little queen,
I
and
mean,
so
to speak that well and that proper and that like just like I guess energetic at such a young age, like I could never have done that. Like I was a nervous little kid.
I know. Like, I mean, if so, I would have just frozen, like,
Exactly. That's exactly what I would have done. And just you would have asked me a question like I don't know, like maybe what's your favorite color if I was in a contest like that, and I would just like
So I have a funny story about that. One of my really good friends, I'm going to tell on you, Devin. Devin Magoon ended up being the little queen, let's say several years ago now. But so we had a video that we watched of it, and it was so funny because she was like, they asked me a question and I had no idea, so I just totally made it up. And they asked her what she liked to eat at the Apple Festival, and she said hot dogs with mustard. She was like, I was like, there's not even hot dogs at the Apple Festival. She's like, I know. It was just the first thing that popped into my head.
Sometimes you do that. One of my friends
She
had
won. So cute.
one of my friends had to like read a story they wrote, and they had to do it completely by memory in like one of our classes. I guess it was English, but he just completely froze, forgot everything he was gonna say, and he just started making it up, and he went with that for the whole like time he had to read, and he finished the whole story, made it up on the spot. And the teacher started asking him questions like, "Oh, how'd you think of that? That was so creative." And he was just like, "I just thought of it."
I totally just made it up just now. No, I think it's just really it's hard to talk on the spot like that.
It is.
It is.
And it's impressive that kids at their age can do that.
I know, and they just look so cute while they're doing it. So, the Apple Festival did wrap up on Saturday with the grand finale parade, which, I mean, by many, many accounts that I wasn't in town for that. I was in town for the school parade, but I've talked with numerous people. It says like one of the best parades they've seen in forever. So everybody really enjoyed it. And a lot of people from out of town came in and got to enjoy the Saturday night parade as well. Lots and lots of bands, which is really
There
good.
was a lot of bands.
You were in
And
the band. I mean, that's a long way to march through a parade.
it is. And there's so much preparation them kids go through to get ready for that. And once you're doing it, you're not just marching, you're performing. It's a performance.
Yeah.
So it's a whole time like you're putting on a show, and you got to just keep going and keep going. And it gets hard sometimes, and you get tired, and some of us can't make it through all the way, but most of them do it, and it's impressive to do that. And 4 years straight, you do that.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, I'm thinking about some of the bigger instruments, like the big drum sets and the tubas
Tubas.
and all that you have to actually carry. No, number one, that's just a long parade route,
It
but
is.
to actually carry that instrument and play it.
And then while you're playing it, don't forget that out of nowhere you're going to hear tweet, 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 and then you start doing the funk. And then you hear cheering everywhere.
You gotta be
Everybody's
dancing.
like, yeah, everybody's all happy, like, oh yeah, they're doing the funk. And meanwhile, you're like, oh god,
Here we go. I got to kick
thought it
my
was
leg up in
over.
the air.
Yeah, then you go for that kick.
No, it just seems like, and I mean, I just think about the logistics of like getting all of those bands to downtown Jackson feeding everybody, like
Oh,
getting
yeah.
everybody dressed, how does that even happen? Like,
There's a whole process behind it. Like there's teams and like committees that are like prepared for it, like students. So some students' job, it's their job to like make sure that everybody's ready. Then you have the section leaders that go through and check you. And one thing that was a big thing my freshman year was the socks. You have to have short socks.
wait, short socks?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It was just part of the rules, but they would come by and they'd be like, hat, uniform, socks. And then it's like, oh man, I forgot my socks. And then
Oh
you're
no,
caught.
my short socks.
I wore long socks.
Oh no, fold them up, buddy. So, where does everybody get dressed and all that? How do they get ready?
Usually it's in the cafeteria. We have a really big cafeteria, or some call it the Commons. And we would just go to each table. You would just get your uniform out and you get ready. And sometimes some of us are really good at dressing ourselves. Like you can get the uniform on, there's a zipper in the back you got to reach. And some of us can do that no problem. And some people, they struggle a little bit. So you got to walk up to a friend of yours and be like, dress me.
So, what about all the bands that are visiting? Where do they get ready and stuff?
They get ready beforehand and then they wait on the bus. And sometimes that's miserable, so the directors won't have them do that. They'll like have part of their uniform on, like the hard part, and they'll take their jackets off and just make sure they get some cool air. And then when they get there, they put it on.
Okay.
So they get out of the bus ready to go.
Okay, because that just sounds. I was just thinking to myself, my gosh, those uniforms have to be so hot.
Oh,
and
they
heavy.
are very hot.
Yeah. Now, do you wear clothes under them? Like, do they fit over top of clothes?
Yeah, like sometimes you don't want to wear like a long sleeve t-shirt. That'd be miserable.
Yeah.
But sometimes we'll wear like a shirt just like this, something kind of thin, breathy.
Yeah.
And then you just make sure that, it doesn't get like caught up in the uniform and you're like, oh man, my shirt's all stuck up in the back.
Stuck up in the zipper, hanging out the back. Yeah, that'd be bad. Well, I always wondered about that because that's just, you're bringing, I don't know how many bands were in this parade, but like, I don't know, it was like what, 20 some, I think? Or
I think so, but even if those bands weren't like, if there wasn't that many bands, there was still a lot of members because we had OU with like, what did Pete say? Like
almost 250, 240 or something like that?
I would say Jackson's almost that, or like maybe a quarter down, like just like 25% off that. But
and you think how many people that is to get going in the right, it's like herding cats, man.
Regardless, there was a lot of band members there, and then each ones that came too, that just adds on to it. It was a lot of band members there.
And your instruments not only on top of like that. So how do you haul like big tubas and stuff like that, drum sets and all that?
They have a band trailer that the band boosters help with, and the
Oh.
band boosters just haul that around for us.
Okay. And then you're like, that's my instrument.
Mm-hmm. And they'll help you get it off.
Okay.
So like they'll say, all right, trumpets, and the trumpets come up, and one by one we get our trumpets.
Okay.
And then tubas, and then trombones, and saxophones, and it just keeps going.
That's just a whole thing. But
Oh,
you don't
it's
think
a whole
about
process.
Yeah, for sure. So traveling is hard. Not necessarily all. The sporting teams, yes. Too cheerleaders, yes. Band, yes. All of that. Getting all of these kids headed in the right direction. That's quite a bit of a task.
It definitely is, and those guys did well.
Yes, they did. So, well, all right. We made it through another program. We have some special guests here tomorrow as well that we'll be talking with. Don't forget, the Gallia County Hope Coalition presents How Are Drugs Entering Gallia County? And that will be this coming Thursday at the library there in Gallipolis on 7 Spruce Street, 5:30 to 7:30. You'll get to hear from Ohio State Highway Patrol, other law enforcement, folks that, have testimony, like all kind of different things. I think it's going to be a wonderful event. So we want to thank the gang for coming in and talking about that today as well.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, we'll be back here tomorrow. We appreciate you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.